Hi everyone, welcome back to another episode of my travel diary series. So in today's video, it's going to be a little bit different. It's actually going to be incorporating 3 days into one video instead of just one day. The reason for that is because for these 3 days, there wasn't really a lot going on. So on the first day in Fukui, we decided to just have a relaxing day, just spend some time with family. Now, my wife also had a few errands to run as well while we were in Japan. One of those was renewing her Japanese driver's license while we were there. So that's something that she also did. And while we were out, I decided to have a stop off at a stationery store because there was a few things that I wanted to have a look at, which I ended up getting these Juicy Up Pilot pens. So these are the classic gloss Juicy Up gel pens. I really like these gel pens. I feel like they write really nicely, and because they also write really thin, they're very good for practicing kanji. The other thing I got was this ringed notebook. Now, I always wanted one of these ones just because they have kind of like rubbery rings, so it makes it a lot easier to write towards the edge of the notebook. So yeah, that were just a couple of little things that I wanted to pick up while I was in Japan. So yeah, first day in Fukui, we didn't really do much. We just relaxed, spent time with family, and just did a tiny bit of shopping and also just a couple of errands. And then the second day in Fukui, it was actually raining. So we also just decided to relax at home on that day as well, which I didn't mind. It was good to have a couple of relaxing days because we'd spent so much time walking around and exploring. It was good to just sort of sit back and relax with family. Also because this is the first time we've been back to Japan since COVID started, so it was really good to be able to spend time with family and just relax. Now, while it was raining outside, I did also decide to film it just a little bit because I love the way the rain sort of bounces off the stonework in the garden. It was just really relaxing just to watch, and I love Japanese gardens. It's one of my favorite things to see in Japan, and the garden at my wife's parents' place is just amazing, which I will actually show off the garden in another video where I do plan to do kind of like a little house tour of her parents' place. So I'll save the garden tour for that video. So on the third day in Fukui, we weren't too sure what the weather was going to be like, so we decided we would just go for a walk around the countryside. Now here in Fukui, I also do show off some more of these manhole covers, which I showed in a previous video, just the way they're all a little bit unique depending on where you are in Japan. I absolutely love being in Fukui. I love the countryside. I love the rice fields, the mountains. I think it's just an amazing place to be. It's just so calm and relaxing, and as soon as we arrived in Fukui, I just immediately felt so relaxed, and I think that's why taking these few days to really just relax and not do too much was really good. It was really refreshing for me to just sort of sit back. So during this walk, we actually went to a primary school. There was a bunch of kids playing on the playground. This was sort of after school hours, and it was so cute the way they would sort of stare and wave from a distance. And my wife and I, we decided to just talk to them a little bit in English, try and get them to practice a little bit. A couple of them were very confident, the others were very shy. Being in Fukui, because it is countryside Japan, pretty much no matter where you go as a foreigner, people do stop and stare, and it's kind of like they're seeing an actor or something. It's not a common sight to see a foreign person in countryside, like somewhere in Fukui like that. So yeah, it was really nice. People treat you very nicely. It's a very amazing place. Now, just while I'm showing some footage of the walk around the countryside, I did want to just talk about a few little things. I thought it would be a good opportunity to talk about my New Year's resolution. So these past few months, there's a lot of things that have been happening. One of those is that after talking with my doctor a lot, it turns out that I may possibly have ADHD. So it's been a bit of a struggle, which does explain a lot with my inability to self-motivate myself to do things. It has been a very big struggle for me in the past and continues to be now. It's something that I struggle to put into words, just how much I struggle to motivate myself to do things and really push myself. It's like there's no drive there, and it's something that I'm really trying to focus hard on to overcome that this year. I really want to push myself to become a much more productive person during 2024, and I hope to continuously grow throughout that process. Now, I'm trying to take on a lot more constructive hobbies, such as filming, and also photography is something that I really want to get into as well, and also really pushing myself to really knuckle down on my Japanese studies. By the end of 2024, I hope to get to a point where I'm able to have intellectual conversations in Japanese, as well as hopefully being able to read Japanese newspapers with around hopefully 80 to 90% comprehension would be ideal. Kanji is something that I've struggled with a lot in the past, so that's going to be one of my main focuses, as well as sort of learning more vocabulary with the kanji rather than just the kanji on its own, because that is definitely a big struggle for me. But a lot of this does come down to my motivation and trying to work on improving that. So unfortunately, getting an official diagnosis for ADHD does cost quite a bit in Australia, and there's not really any assistance for that. So for now, I am going to be just working on it on my own, trying to overcome it. I do hope to be able to get an official diagnosis at some point, but that unfortunately will have to wait until I'm in a position where I'm able to do that, just because it is quite expensive. Talking about my lack of motivation and procrastination that has led to things like anxiety and stuff like that, it's definitely something that I've struggled to talk about a lot in the past, and in 2024 I'm really hoping to push myself to be able to talk openly about these kind of things, because it is a part of who I am, and it has been for a very long time, and it's something that I've struggled with a lot in the past. And it's also something that I've struggled to talk about because from the outside it's very easy to look at it like I'm just being lazy, but it's not really the case. I wish I could explain why I don't have that ability to push myself to do things. It's something that I can't really explain. The only thing I can really do right now is just try and work on it on my own, which I am getting a little bit of support from some friends with, but it is going to be a long road, and I'm really excited to start improving myself. So yeah, this video is not really going to be too much of a long one, just because there really wasn't a lot going on these few days, so I kind of wanted to get them out of the way. But next week's video, there's a lot of exciting things that I got to do all in one day. It was a very filled day of seeing a lot of amazing places, which I really cannot wait to show off. They're places that are probably some of my favorite that I went to on this whole trip, so I'm really excited to show them off. I think Fukui is an amazing prefecture, and I don't really see a whole lot of videos on it, so I'm really excited for next week's video where I'll show off a lot more interesting places to see in Fukui. So I really hope that you look forward to that. So yeah, this will be the end of this week's episode. I know it was short and there wasn't really a lot happening, but I hope you enjoyed it anyway, and I hope that you hit that like button, follow, and click that notification bell for future updates. And I hope to see you all in the next video. It's going to be a really exciting one, so I hope you look forward to that. Bye.